Hello, and welcome to Roosevelt Rebel with your host, Tisa Rebel Beltran. Woo! Alright, so this episode, I have made a decision. I just got out of the shower because I needed to warm up because I'm fucking cold in my room, as usual. Things are a little bit different this semester. And then also because I'm having a job that is having a lot of overtime. So I just had to pay, I didn't have to pay. I just paid someone's rent for them because they needed the help. So I need to make more money to put that back in my savings. Yeah. Times are rough for everybody. Understandable. We're in the middle of a fucking pandemic and things are just not normal. And they may not get back to normal. Well, they will definitely not be back to the normal that we used to know, the old world. That's what we're going to start calling it, the old world. It's going to be known as OC, old culture. Or maybe just OW, old world. I think I'd like OW better, because OC, wasn't that a show? But anyhow, I digress. So, this is going to be, I need to say there's going to be spoilers and shit. First, so I'm just going to do a little rundown of what happened this week. It's, since I posted, which was Tuesday? I have no idea. This week is, we're already on the fucking 21st of the month. This year has gone by so quick. And I think being sick for most of it pretty much sums up, hopefully, not, just kidding, what the rest of the year would be. But one of my friends got diagnosed with the COVID, and since I've been through it, and she was telling me about all the shit that she was feeling, and I'm like, that sounds exactly the way that I did. So I went and I bought her a humidifier, a warm mist humidifier for the congestion, and it took 2-3 hours yesterday. I went and bought myself some freaking dinner, and then so Walgreens lets you order the what you need online, and it'll be ready in 30 minutes. So that came in very handy yesterday. So I ordered the things that I wanted to get for her: medicine, water for the humidifier, and a humidifier. And so I put the order in, and then I thought I put the order in before I left the house, because I put my order in for my sushi. And then I was like, okay, they're pretty close together, so I'm going to drive up there and I'm going to pick up my food and then get the order from Walgreens. So then I realized I hadn't heard anything from Walgreens. I checked my account and there was no order to be found. And I was like, fuck. So I picked up my food and sat in the Walgreens parking lot, because a lot of the stuff that I have been ordering has been in not there when I order it. So I ordered it, and they said your shit's ready. So they text you and say your order's ready. So I went in there, and then as I'm in line waiting for them to grab my stuff, I get a message saying half of your order was canceled. So the only thing that I was able to get for her at that Walgreens was the medicine. So I was like, fuck, this is gonna work, but I would rather have her to have a humidifier, because she's very congested and she feels like shit. So I put the order in for another Walgreens that was going to be kind of on the way to her house. So I put that in, and as I'm on my way over to that Walgreens, I get a text message saying your order has been canceled. It cannot be fulfilled. So I pull into a freaking Starbucks, and I put an order in at the third one. And I was like, okay, this is going to get it done. And I'm creeping, I'm the only one in line, and I'm creeping up to the, because I pay with my app, so I'm creeping up to the window to pick up the drink, and I'm like, I'm so sorry that I just creeped up. He's like, oh, it's okay. We had time to make your drink. I'm like, yeah. I was like, I'm just trying to order online medicine and things for my friend because she has COVID, and everything is out everywhere, and it's just really hard. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. And I'm like, yeah. So I put the order in for the third location. I was like, well, I'm just gonna drive over there and see what happens. So I drove over there, and then there was a Goodwill there, and I was like, ooh, Goodwill. I'm just gonna, since, I still have time, I'm just gonna slide in and see if there's anything to buy, which there was this magical couch that I wanted to buy, but I do not have any room. So I was just video chatting my friend, and I was like, look at this couch. Look at how beautiful it is. I wish I had the money. Well, I do have the money. I wish I had the space. Because it was only $25, and it was amazing. So I didn't buy anything. I just walked through, and I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go over there, and because it's supposed to be ready soon. So I drove over there, and I sat in the parking lot and ate a little bit more of my dinner. And then they messaged me and was like, your order's going to be delayed. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's been 30 minutes. Like, now it's going to be delayed. So I waited a little bit more, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go in and see why it's delayed and, like, see if it's going to be canceled and if the stuff is even there. So I went in and I found the things. Like, no, it was the Walgreens brand of the warm vaporizer and one thing of water. But then the good thing is, I was going through the DVDs because they have used DVDs there from old, I don't know, probably from Redbox. The Redbox is that's there, probably, huh? It should look when I open them. I haven't even opened them, but they had Mallrats for $2.99, and it's not like, it's the collector's edition and widescreen with a bunch of special features, which I really hope that's on there, and it's not fucking a Redbox version, because you know how the Redbox version doesn't have the special features, so I really hope, oh man, I just thought about that, but it was only the $2.99, so, and then Ingrid Goes West, that Aubrey Plaza movie, it is for rent and purchase online, and disappears all the time. And I was on the phone with my friend, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I found it. And I was like, I'm gonna buy it. She's like, but it's for DVDs. I said, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I have a DVD player, and I own DVDs. Everything is not streamed. She was like, everything's streaming now. And I'm like, no, they are not. Everything is not streaming, because when I want to watch something, I go, and I just watched it a couple weeks ago. I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm in the mood for this again. And then it's gone. Like when Harry Met Sally, and I even told her this, I said, I have bought 3 DVDs of When Harry Met Sally, because I always think that I don't have it, or that it's in storage or something. So I have bought 3 in the past 10 years. I think I've gotten rid of them now, and I have only 1. No, I think there's still 2. I don't know. But either way, I bought Ingrid Goes West, so I'm pretty excited about that, to watch that. So, and I was like, okay, it's time to go and talk to somebody. So I went and talked to somebody, and they're like, well, the manager, blah, 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 go over here in the photo department. I'm like, all right. So I go over there, and the manager meets me there, and I tell him, I'm like, yeah, I have an order, and they said it was delayed. I don't know why it's delayed, but I just came from all the way on the other side of town, which is very fucking true, because by that time, I would say it was probably like, if I would have driven during that traffic, it would have been a 45-minute drive to get all the way to where I was. And he was like, oh, let me look. And he's like, oh, the only reason you were delayed was because there was 2 people behind you, or in front of you. And I'm like, are these things in stock? And he's like, yeah, they are in stock. They say they are. I'm like, yeah, but I put in 2 orders at other places that they say they were in stock, and then they canceled the orders on me. He's like, well, we'll find out. I'm like, all right. I said, we'll see then. And so he went off and he found them. And I was so fucking excited. And I I drove to my friend's house, super excited to surprise her. Went to her house, knocked on the door. She opens the door with her mask on, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing here? I'm like, she opens the door, and she has her mask off. I have my mask on, and I put the humidifier in, 2 jugs of distilled water, and the medicine. I said, you need these things to get better. And I know that you can't get it right now. Don't worry about it. I was like, I went to 3 Walgreens because they're sold out. And so this is a freaking very rare find. I'm like, so just get better and take care of yourself and don't worry about anything, because you have a little baby here. And she needs you right now. And you need each other. She's like, I know. So, I was like, great. Now I just get better. And then I ran home because I had homework to do, and I was out for 3 hours on this mission. And then today I get a phone call from someone, and they're crying their eyes out, and I don't understand why she's unable to find a job. But she was like, I can't find a job. We are late on rent. I don't know what to do. And I was like, you know what? I have money saved exactly that amount, and I will pay your rent. You don't need to pay me back. Just get your shit together, figure your shit out, work on doing the things that you need to do. Because I thought about it. My parents have taken care of me so much over anytime things went bad for me. My parents were always there for me. And sometimes people just need people to be there for them. And a lot of people don't have that. I am a lucky person, and I thank my lucky stars every day that I have the family that I have, because one, I turned the volume down. Apparently not. Shit for fuck. Sorry, everybody. Another episode of me not turning the volume down. Okay. And I was so proud of myself. I was like, I turned the volume down before I even recorded. And then it was the second button, the second line that needed to be down. Anyhow. I'm so lucky that I didn't have to come out of the closet. This is the whole point of where I'm getting. This is where I'm going to. This is my segue. So I didn't have to come out of the closet. I didn't have to. I have always lived as my authentic self, and I am very lucky of that. Sure, it was the 90s, and I got rocks thrown at me, chased with the fucking blade, and shot at, and everything, just because I'm a fucking queer ass. But I have always loved whoever I wanted to love, and my parents said, as long as I'm happy. That's all they want. As long as you're happy. As long as you find that person that makes you happy. So, I'm very lucky about that. That I didn't have to come out of the closet. I've always said I was queer. Whatever. Dated whoever I wanted to date. Did these things. So, in that, we're going to talk about queers in media. The way that we're perceived, the way that they're putting us out there. So, I grew up in the 90s, 80s, 2000s for those in the 20s, and what was in the entertainment definitely was not how we were living. It was, okay, just for reference, Alward. Definitely was not the way that we were living. Me and my friends were not living that lifestyle. Plus, we were not in LA. We were here in Phoenix. We were poor fucking people. Poor blacks, poor Mexicans, poor white people hanging out. And we had fun. We still had some drama, but not like the drama, yes, it is, extraordinary for a film, for a show, a movie, whatever, and we lived our lives pretty good. Oh, there was so much drama. Oh my God, there was so much drama. But that's to come with it, with queers in anybody, with dating and having a group of friends. There's always going to be drama. And if you never had that in your life, I feel sorry for you, because you missed out some great shit. And that's what worries me about today's society, is because they're not able to have those kind of relationships the way that we did. And I am kind of hoping that out of this pandemic, when we start being able to be around each other again, that it gets to that point where we are doing it less phone, more people, but we had an extraordinary life. I have extraordinary stories, and we started watching the L Word every Sunday. We would get together every Sunday when the L Word came on. We would meet at my house, and we watched True Blood and L Word and Sex. I think there was a show about sex. Hung. That's what it was called. So we would watch all these shows on Sundays, and HBO and Showtime. We'd watch all these. I think they might all be all Showtime, but I don't know. But we would watch all these shows together as a group, and we'd sit there and watch them every week. See, that's what I loved about it. We didn't know what was coming, and every week they would release a new one. And that's also what I was trying to get into because of the new Sex in the City. Okay, so first I'm going to finish with my L Word. So with the L Word, we did the chart. Believe me, that chart was huge, and a lot of us, it was like the chart. We didn't have the money the way the girls in the L Word did, and we were the same age as them. Like, we are literally the same age as these women.